Let's play ball. Again, doing the catching for the Longhorns, number 6, in the Atchison. And on the bump is number 5, Bo Brewer. Leading off for the Hornets in the top of the first inning is number 15, Joss.
I'd like to welcome you all to day 2 action of the Haytown Classic with your Longhorns facing off this morning against the Vinita Hornets. On the bump today for the Longhorns is Bo Brewer. I'd like to welcome in Tyler Swope, a fellow compadre of the Longhorn Media Department.
Hey, what's going on, Jeff? Everybody out there at home watching?
Loving life. We appreciate all of you at home watching or in the classroom. Keep them kids under control as you watch some great baseball in some blustery cold weather. Kind of catch up with the action with the first pitch foul ball, and then the second pitch a pop out by Goss to first baseman Cash Stevens. So 1 out here in the top of the first inning.
Yeah, I'm excited here, Jeff. This is the first time I'm getting to get a look at this year's Inola Longhorn baseball squad. And I know they've had a strong start to the season, and I'm just really excited to watch them. Again, could be a little warmer. Definitely not baseball weather.
Well, we're pretty lucky that the position we're in right now, being in the press box, that's for sure.
There's no doubt about that. And
we did have discussions last year about maybe, hey, let's move down, get a table, so we're like right there in the action, which in the long run is probably a great idea because we get just with the space of this room, like where you're kind of tucked in the corner by walls. He misses high for ball 1, bringing the count to 1-1. But nonetheless, we're pretty happy up here with all 75 students up here supporting their fellow Inola Longhorns. High fly ball to right field. Zane Howard settles under it for the second out of the inning as we see caps flying through the outfield.
You're going to see a lot of that today.
All day.
If you haven't been outside today, my goodness, this wind. You can see it during the national anthem there, just the flags flying. I was having conversations with Caden Thompson, one of our senior golfers. If he was to have the wind coming from left to right and he was on the tee box aiming for the green totally on his right, if he sliced it on purpose, how far could he make it go? We talked 175, 200 yards. It's unbelievable, this wind today.
I can already make things slice pretty good. And you add this wind to it, man.
You better believe it. I'd be lining up like Courtney Williamson out there.
Oh my gosh! And I have witnessed this, and it is ridiculous. As Brewer misses outside for ball 2. Misses high, bringing the count to 3-0 with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Don't have a lot of information about the Vinita Hornets today as Brewer fires that one across for strike 1, bringing the count to 3-1.
I'm actually looking up their record right now, my friend.
Well, good. You're always good with that stuff. You stay up on things.
I don't know about that.
Fouls that one off from the right side, bringing the count full here. But Longhorns yesterday played a very stout Pea Ridge team, jumped out early with 5 quick runs in the first 2 innings, managed to hold on for a 6-3 victory to start off their tournament. I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow the Longhorns will be playing at 10 o'clock again as Brewer misses high for ball 4. Be playing at 10 o'clock again. Tomorrow's game matchup will be with the Wagner Bulldogs. I got a full slate today. I believe there's 4 games. We will only be streaming and broadcasting Longhorn games this year, but we'll be back on the air again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Hopefully a little bit less wind, but I do believe we're supposed to still have some, so we will manage. We're comfortable up here with the pickoff temp at first base.
And just an update here on the Vinita Hornets. Record's 4-8, but that's a little bit misleading. A lot of doubleheaders so far for them this season. Lost to Grove twice in a doubleheader. Lost to Verdigris twice in a doubleheader.
Runner takes off. Throw in time. Great play right there. Great throw. Good transition from glove to hand there by Finley Atchison as he struts off the field. Third out here on attempt stolen base by Tanner. After a 1/2 inning, it is the Hornets 0, Longhorns 0.
Leading off for the Longhorns in the bottom of the first, our right fielder, number 10, Zane Howard.
Picking up the action here in the bottom of the first innings. The Longhorns step to the plate. First up for the Longhorns, right fielder Zane Howard.
You know, this is the kid I'm excited to watch play some baseball, especially excited to see at the plate. Really like Zane, had him in class last year, but he didn't get a ton of playing time as a junior, so excited to see him play as a senior here.
We talked a lot about that as he fouls that one off to the softball field. We talked a lot in the air yesterday about just what's coming back from last year's team. Obviously a lot of players, but not a lot of action for those players. I mean, you're returning. Zane didn't get a lot of action. He's, leading off, had a great start to the season, but your next 3 up, all starters last year, a lot of playing time. Obviously Atchison with the broken arm last year kind of shortened his season a bit, but down the line after that, not a lot of playing time, but it's a lineup that's, offers you some problems 1 through 9 as he misses inside for ball 2. So it's a different lineup. It's a different style of baseball, but nonetheless, it's a very effective group with my personal opinion, the strength being on the defense.
Yeah, no doubt. But, I mean, the bats have kind of come alive here in this last week and a half or so, according to what I've talked to with the coaches. They've really been hitting well.
Well, you look at just stats in general, and it's a far superior hitting team to this point in the season. Maybe you don't have those big name guys that they had last year, but nonetheless, everybody's contributing, and that makes for as Howard works a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the first inning. But we talked about it, he's center fielder, Micah Schwing, he's a 4 or 5 guy. Left field, Jace Kent, he's a 4 or 5 guy. Right field, Zane Howard, and I've never had a clock 40 with him, but watching him run, he's a sub 4-7 guy. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of ground can be covered by those 3 gentlemen. And speaking of our center fielder, Micah Schwing steps to the plate. And I threw this out yesterday. Again, I'm not Nostradamus, but I do feel a bunt could be on the horizon. Catches the outside corner for strike 1.
How about that?
Big part of his game, utilizing his speed, his ability to control the bunt, whether he wants it down the third baseline, first baseline. Speed is very difficult. It puts a lot of pressure on defenses.
Well, there it is right there. There's the bunt attempt. He's heading to first.
Probably wanted that a little bit further down the third baseline. Not exactly where he wanted it, but nonetheless is able to advance Zane Howard to second base.
He's a runner in scoring position for our shortstop. Number 11, Charlie Castleman.
Chuck Castleman up to the plate now.
One of the few with a plethora of experience at the varsity level for the Longhorns.
Yeah, but he's been starting since he was a freshman. He's a junior now. Coming off of a really good basketball season with the Longhorn basketball team this year.
Speaking of, we're joined in the press box by the one and the only Evan Schultz. We'd like to say big shout out. Thank you, sir. He takes ball 1.
Not in class, Evan Schultz, but he is here in the press box.
So if his students are watching, we know where he's at. He's here with us. I guess I should give a big shout out to Coach Ashley for taking on his kids for him as he misses outside, bringing the count to 2-0. Castleman at the plate, though, able to do a little bit of everything. We saw a nice sac bunt yesterday, but he definitely has some power both to the gaps, moves well. This is high for ball 3, bringing the count to 3-0.
Castleman's a kid that's always impressed me. Especially when he was a freshman a couple years ago. He just looked like the skinny kid out there, and I'd never seen him play, and I remember being so impressed. He's really, truly a jack of all trades, a do-it-all type of baseball player that you can put at just about any position.
Absolutely, as he works a 4-pitch walk right there. So first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning, and at the plate now is catcher Finley Atchison. And what growing up with baseball, my father coached for 40 years, but just you always say, like, you make a big play in the field, you're due for a big play at the plate. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the opportunity is here to really kind of open this one up. As that wild pitch gets away from the catcher, I'd probably call it a pass ball. That allows the runners to advance. So 1-0 count. Now we got second and third here with 1 out. Great opportunity for the Longhorns to flash a crooked number up on that scoreboard. Atchison, a tough out at the plate. I'm not going to say he's a contact hitter, but because when he does make contact, he can drive a baseball. But hard strikeout as a count rolls 2-0 now. Pitcher, you got to think that wind is going to create some problems for a pitcher. Just you get those big gusts. Misses low and in the dirt. Runner's going to go. That beats the slide beats him to the plate. Close play right there. Coach is going to have a little conversation trying to figure this one out. Very close play. That one didn't probably kick as far as they were anticipating, but again, we talk about speed, and Zane Howard has it, and he's able to beat the flip from the catcher to the pitcher for the first run of the game.
And Castleman advances to third here.
So still great opportunity to put some more runs on the board with a 3-0 count here. I believe that's 8 straight balls thus far.
I'm sitting here thinking too, Jeff, I think this is the first time I've ever seen Finley play as he advances to first on the walk. Is that 3 walks now?
That is the 3rd walk thus far. I believe we'll have a courtesy runner right here. We got time called as Coach wants to have a little conversation with his pitcher on the mound. Courtesy running for the Longhorns is Hayden Tucson. As we have a little conference on the mound, we're going to take a break from the action.
Courtesy running for our catcher, number 14, Hayden Tucson.
All right, stepping to the plate now for the Longhorns is Gavin Soup Campbell. Great night last night, robbed of a double on a very questionable call by the umpire, but nonetheless, wears that one between the 1 and 2 on his back, which will load the bases.
Man, you got to wonder about the wind being a factor here. It's in the pitcher's head. I mean, he's thrown several just in the dirt. Now a hit by pitch for Campbell. I mean, he's struggling right now.
Definitely making the catcher work. So stepping to the plate now, left fielder Jace Kent. Kent, I was having a conversation with his mom before the game as he takes low for strike one. Having the pleasure of coaching him in baseball as well. I mean, there's not too often where he doesn't hit something and not square it up. As he hits that one towards first base, that'll get past the first baseman, no one to cover. That infield single right there drives in a run. Looks like he caught that one maybe off the end of the bat as his hands are ringing a little bit. But he tends to square things up pretty well, and he's got a very, just a controlled but violent swing. He generates some real power at the plate.
And controlled but violent is a great way to describe him in football as well. I mean, obviously, I've called his name a lot in that sport, so expect to do the same in baseball. But
for years to come.
Yeah, that's right. Just a freshman.
Yeah. But stepping to the plate now, DH Ethan Weatherly, another one that I'm very happy with the success he's had early as he swings through one, skips away from the catcher, which allows Hayden Tucson to score. A pass ball right there. All runners will advance. Score now 3-0 in favor of the Longhorns, with runners on second and third. Great start for the Longhorns, jumping up early in this one. Takes high for ball one. Similar start yesterday. Had 3 runs in the first. Obviously, situationally, got a great opportunity for many more. Fouls that one straight back for strike 2, bringing the count to 1 and 2.
Weatherly, another guy. I haven't really got to see him play very much. I've always really liked him, so glad to see him. And you said he's just DH, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
DH for starting pitcher Bo Brewer. But I know in talking with the kids, because I had heard hard ground ball back to the pitcher. He bobbles it, going to make a play at first, throws it away down the right field line. There's nobody there. Right fielder was very much shaded to the right field gap. Weatherly still going. Finally gets back to the infield, so that error by the pitcher allows for 2 more runs to score, and Weatherly wisely scampers all the way to third base.
Wow, and honestly, Jeff, I think if he would have kept going, I think he could have had an inside-the-park home run right there.
He would have definitely forced a near-perfect throw to the plate from the relay. So we got time called right here by the Vinita coach, and they're going to make a call to the bullpen as the center fielder comes jogging in. So with that, we're going to take a little break from the action with your Longhorns leading 5-0.
Now pitching for Vinita is number 21, Tanner.
All right, that's the end of the day for starting pitcher Floyd. Moving on to center fielder, stepping in right now, Tanner. As Cash Stevens steps to the plate and takes low and away for ball one. Floyd gave up 5 runs, 1 hit with 3 walks and a hit batsman.
You know, I don't know that I should say this as we see Cash make contact.
Good productive out right there, driving in a run.
Cash, you know, he was assigned a big assignment from Coach Evan Schultz, and that was just earlier this week. And I heard him talking about maybe a deal. Maybe, you know, if he can, as long as he avoids going 0 for 3 in a game at any point in this tournament. I don't know if he's got to do that assignment, Jeff. So pretty good deal for Cash Stevens made with Coach Evan Schultz.
It's kind of motivation I need in life. Hey, you do this, and this is your reward. I'm in.
That's right.
As Bates takes strike 1, followed by strike 2. Here sitting at 0-2 count right now with 2 outs. Longhorns have already scratched across 6. Always a good thing when you're batting through the lineup in an inning. And I do believe we did that yesterday in the first inning as well. This is low in the dirt for ball 1. Bates another one like Weatherly, got him back out to play baseball. I mean, my son as a 4-year-old played with Bates on some, you know, coach pitch and everything, so it was fun watching him. And as a youngster, the dude knew baseball, and he was one that you look out on the field and you're like, that kid knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he played well as he misses inside for ball 2, bringing the count to 2-2. But good to see him back out here. Another infield option for Hallman. He's got plenty of those, and he's got other guys. I mean, he's got a long line. I mean, he's got his 9. I mean, when everybody knows who they are, but he's got guys that he can, when need be, he can plug in at a different position as he hits that one to the right side. That one carries just enough. Interesting play in right field for the 3rd out of the inning, but nonetheless, your Longhorns are able to scratch across 6 after 1 complete inning. Longhorns 6, Hornets 0. Okay, picked up the action here in the top of the 2nd inning. Again, your Longhorns able to get 6 across in the bottom of the 1st. Stepping to the plate right now for the Hornets, number 4, Williams, first baseman. Brewer deals 2 back-to-back balls, bringing the count to 2-0. As a pitcher, these are situations. I was never a pitcher. I mean, when you're younger, I mean, everybody's kind of a pitcher. But
Right.
I was never a pitcher as I got older, but I do know, you know, having caught for many years, you just look and you can just see, like, the shoulders aren't so tight. They just drop, and they're more comfortable now. You got a 6-0 lead. You can take some chances with some pitches. As fouls that one off to the right side, bringing the count to 2-1. But knowing you have a lineup that can produce runs like this, as a pitcher up there, it's like, hey, I can challenge them a little more. Maybe I don't have to be as crisp hitting my spots exactly. If I'm trying to hit that outside corner and I leak one a little over the plate, I know what's behind me. I know what I can. I can give up a hit here and there. I'm not forcing myself. I think I got to strike them all out. No, but leadoff walk, not a great way to start, but hey, after the plays I saw from our infield yesterday, double plays abound. The ability to do it is through the roof with this group. As stepping to the plate right now, number 27, Vansel.
Yeah, and I'll say this,
That one foul for strike one.
You talk about the confidence. I felt like the first inning, Brewer stepped out there, looked confident, looked like he knew what he was doing. I was watching him throw some bullpen beforehand and get warm, and I mean, he looked really confident stepping out there. And obviously, yeah, when you step out top of the second with a 6-0 lead, you're gonna be real relaxed.
I mean, he got weak contact, got a nice little pop fly to the first baseman, nice fly out to to the right field as he fouls that second bunt attempt back for strike two. He did give up a walk, but that was followed up with a great throw by your catcher to cut him down trying to steal second. So, I mean, can't ask for a whole lot more.
No.
Just try to work on, not allowing those walks because, you've heard it. It's been said many a time before, but you can't defend a walk. Force them to put the ball in play as he fires across strike three right there for the first out of the inning.
That strikeout.
Yeah, that was a good series. 3 straight pitches. Really good by Brewer, really in control.
Good time, just settling in right now. Yeah, you gave up the leadoff walk, not an ideal start to the inning, but then you followed it right up with a good strikeout. Now you hopefully get that double play ball, that weak contact, and get out of the inning and let your hitters get back in there as he goes to second. A little hit and run action. Confusion right there, but Brewer wisely covering first. Great job right. Looks like he just beat the throw right there, so he will be safe on that play to first. Guess I didn't see what he saw, but nonetheless, he got runners on first and second right now.
I think the problem was Brewer was in the air when he made the catch.
I got you.
I think that's the deal. He had to jump just slightly to make that catch, and I think that is saying that it allowed the runner to hit the bag first. It was close.
It's one of those, that runner's going, second's going to cover first, but it's that Bermuda Triangle ball that's right in. Second's already sprinting to first, so is he going to break off of going to first and go play the ball?
Right.
First baseman thinks he's playing the ball, so Brewer wisely sees that and sprints to first to try to make a play. Tough play right there. Got to change the lineup right now. I got number 8 stepping to the plate. First and second here with 1 out in the top of the second inning. Squares to bunt. Fouls that one straight back for strike one. These are situations, and I know if Hallman was coaching Vinita right now, not seeing guys to be able to get bunts down. I know that's one thing with him that just kind of irks him a bit, and I would have to completely agree. You have an opportunity right here. Hey, you got one job to do, get the ball down, and thus far they're 0 for 3 on their bunt attempts. So,
yeah.
As a Longhorn, you're like, okay, this is good.
Exactly.
But as a Hornet, you might be like, hey, come on, guys, you got to do your job. Fires across for strike 2, bringing the count to 0-2.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. Did any coaches ever show, like early before the pitcher, at least, that they show bunt, but then they're back and ready to swing? How often do you see that in high school?
I will say this. I don't recall seeing it a whole lot. Great off-speed pitch right there. Catches them looking for strike 3 for the second out of the inning. I know one of the big things we did in college, we did what's called a slash. So you'd show, so your hands are high, and then what you'd do is pull it back, and you would almost with your hands half, to the very top of about the middle of the bat, and then you would just try to slap it right over where they're charging from. But, yeah, you'll see guys do that. They'll show, pull, and then swing away, which if you're charging, it's a very sketchy situation to be in because you're that much closer. It's almost like you're playing third in softball, but you don't have a mask. Might have some sweet goggles, though. Ren the Dreamweaver staring through my soul right there.
Ren the Dreamweaver.
See, the student, a lot of references we make to our great students, and deep down, They love the fact that we're giving them shout-outs on the air. They may look at you the way they do, and I wish you all could see the glares we get up in the press box. But nonetheless, we're all having fun. We're enjoying it. She's not in class. She's happy.
That's true. Ren's happy if she's not in class.
Little flare to the right side will get down. Great throw by Howard right there, getting that ball back in. We got a little pickle action right now. Sandlot on this one as it fires to home. Great pick.
Got him.
By Atchison right there. Applies the tag for the third out of the inning. Bad base running right there creates a situation where we could have had bases loaded with 2 outs, but nonetheless, the Longhorns are able to get a third out without allowing a run.
Man, all started by the great throw by Howard.
Dude, he got and again, he got to the ball quick, one hop, fired it back in, and Vinita found themselves in a tough situation. So after 1.5, Longhorns 6, Hornets 0.
Our right fielder, number 10, Zane Howard.
Longhorns roll the lineup back to the top here, starting off the second inning as Zane Howard steps to the plate. Howard led off the bottom of the first inning with a walk and utilized his speed on the base paths to create some problems and ended up scoring. Again, the score is 6-0 here as we venture into the bottom of the second inning. Takes low and away for ball 1.
First time that most of the lineup has gotten to face the new pitchers, so see how they adjust to that.
This is high for ball 2, bringing the count to 2-0. Catches the outside corner for strike 1, bringing the count to 2-1.
You know, as a guy who played a lot of baseball yourself, and again, I wasn't a baseball guy, right? I was basketball, football. How much difference is it facing a left-handed pitcher compared to that right-handed?
My personal opinion, as he fires across strike 2, was a world of difference.
Really?
I think just everything a lefty does is just so much prettier. Misses outside for ball 3. You know, some of your best shots you'll see in basketball, lefties. It just looks so smooth. It's just clean. Whereas lefty pitcher, I always felt like they just had a natural run to it. So everything they'd throw, maybe they'd start it at me, and then it just cut right over the inside corner of the plate, or they'd start it over the middle of the plate as he takes for ball 4 right there. Or he might just start it on heart of the plate, and then it catches the outside corner. So you'll hear a lot of people say, you know, like you play the matchup. If I'm a lefties on the mound, I want as many righties at the plate. If a righties on the mound, I want as many lefties at the plate. I hated hitting lefties when I was a righty. I had a much better batting average again. It was a mental thing, but I just couldn't. I was just more consistent with the right-handed pitcher on the mound. Swing misses.
I understand.
First attempt at a bunt.
And it may be like that, you know, for most people. It's just maybe it's a mental thing, you know. But as a guy, like I say, I played my 1 year at T-ball and realized this is probably not the sport for me. It was always
beautiful bump on the third baseline. Going to take a good throw. He does pull him off the bag right there, and Schwing will be safe on that bunt. About perfect bunt, probably where he wanted it, right on the third base line. If I'm being nitpicky, take a little less off and make that third baseman charge a little bit more. But again, that's just speed like that. We've talked about that multiple times on the air thus far. And that brings to the plate Charlie Castleman. Castleman had a walk back in the first inning. Runners on first and second here with no outs.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they just have a little natural run to the ball.
Yeah, I've always wondered, again, because, again, I play T-ball. That's about it for me.
Swings
and
strike
so
one.
just to know the difference between the two, you know, I mean, I feel like it's got to be they've got that natural run, so like you say, there probably is a little bit of advantage. But I do wonder how much of that is just mental. Baseball's such a mental sport as it is.
Time.
And so I wonder how much of that is mental. Like you just felt like you felt like, you know, your batting average was better, but was it because you were actually worse against them, or did you let yourself be worse? I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's
probably a little bit of both. I mean, if I'm being honest, probably a little bit of both.
Well, to me, that's the great thing about baseball is that duel between the batter and the pitcher. You know, and I'm sure there were pitchers where you'd face them, you know, a second, a third time, whatever, and you knew their stuff, right?
Oh, you started to figure them out. Is that little flare to left field's going to drop for a single? Hallman will hold Howard at third. Great at bat right there, found by Castleman. Found himself in an 0-2 hole. You know, took an outside pitch. Took an inside pitch right there, and just kind of nice little flare to left field. Let that wind just take it over top of the shortstop's third baseman's head. So we have bases loaded right here with no outs. And the big bat of Finley Atchison steps to the plate. Another conversation we were having this morning talking about just rarity that the wind is blowing out. It's almost always, it's the first game it's been blowing, but you don't see that often on this field.
Yeah.
And you get underneath a ball with a little bit of pop, that sucker's going to carry, and, hey, we might see some long balls today. Great opportunity and great chance for one here, but nonetheless, what you're looking for as a hitter, you're probably pretty amped up. It's a bases loaded, no out. I can break this game open as a pitcher misses a low and away for ball two. But at the same time, you don't want to be antsy. Your routine shouldn't change. Yes, you have an opportunity to really just, open up the game, pick all the energy up, which the energy's high as it is. It's a great situation. But don't change your approach at the plate. Yeah, it's bases loaded, but nonetheless, what you're trying to do shouldn't change as he pops that one up to the right side.
Look at the wind carry that.
Let wind just move that ball straight across the infield, and everyone will be safe on that. You could just see that ball started about the foul line and ended up pushing all the way almost towards second base, just on the grass. Tough play right there, does drop. We'll score a run on that, bringing everybody is able to advance a base. Another run scratches across for the Longhorns. Stepping to the plate right now, Gavin Soup Campbell. Base is still loaded.
And that's it's probably hard to tell.
Oh, I checked that. It was an infield fly, so he is out on that infield fly rule. But nonetheless, we're still able. You can advance at your own risk. We are still able to score a run, so it's first.
But, it's just hard to tell probably watching it on your screen at home or in the classroom.
Schwing will score on that wild pitch.
It is incredible how much the wind affected that infield fly.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he popped it up there, and it moved. I mean, I'm going to say 12 feet from where it was originally on its line. I mean, that was –
I'm with you, easy, 12 feet.
I mean, that was insane. I mean, this wind's such a factor today.
Charlie Castleman's able to advance on that wild pitch as well. 1-1 count here to Soup. Swings through a fastball right there, bringing that count to 1-2.
Soup, a proud member of Longhorn Media.
Oh, fantastic.
As well as Cash Stevens. I mean, we didn't say that earlier. But
Bubbles, I forgot about that.
Yeah, old Bubbles.
Got him at semester.
Yep.
Fouls that one straight back. Keeping the count at 1-2. I didn't get a chance to talk to Campbell after the game yesterday after he reprimanded me for showing up to a game and him having his worst game ever and says I can't watch him anymore. Had some great at-bats yesterday. Hard ground ball. That's going to skip past the third baseman. That'll score a run, bringing the score now to 9-0 in favor of the Longhorns. But not only was he great at the plate yesterday, I'm telling you, he probably had the play of the day when it comes to the infield too. Snares one right up the middle at second, able to turn a double play with it. We talk about being a pitcher. JT Barnett came in, and he throws one pitch, gets 2 out, gets out of an inning. Pick to first. Again, with the way they're lined up, if he picks to first and that ball gets away, that right fielder is an 8.5 gap, and he is not going to get there for a while.
I mean,
and even with Campbell's lack of speed, he can get to third base. I joke. Dad's sitting here. I just saw some shoulders bump, so
He's gonna love that one. That's great, even with his lack of speed. No, I was gonna say I have never, and I mean it's got to be because of the wind, but I have never seen an outfield line up like this.
No,
unless it's like a tendency by a hitter, I guess. But I mean this is.
But here's the crazier part though. It's a lefty at the plate. I'm not saying you're playing the right field line, but I am probably gonna play him at least straight up.
I'm
but
telling
he
you,
is
he's way over.
Right, and I get it. The wind's gonna affect the ball. No, about that. But nonetheless, Kent at the plate takes outside, bringing the count to 3-0. Obviously, probably getting the take here from Hallman. Maybe with the score the way it is, Hallman says, "Hey, green light, get after it." But nonetheless, I mean, if he can get a hold of one and pull that ball, that ball's going to run. Full count on the board right now. Fouls that one back, keeping his at bat alive.
You know, he's frustrated himself for taking that second strike. He knows he should have swung at that one.
And like anything, it's just, you said, the game is mental.
Yeah.
So now it's, hey, move past it. As the great Ted Lasso once said, be a goldfish.
Be a goldfish.
Fouls that one back to the softball field. That looks like an E8 by Pratt out in center. Full count here, 1 out, runner on first with the Longhorns leading 9-0 in the bottom of the second. Takes on a close pitch outside. Great at bat right there, working the walk by Kent.
That walk moves the runner in a scoring position.
First and second now here as Ethan Weatherly steps to the plate. Weatherly had a hard ground ball right back to the pitcher, kind of bobbled it and kind of sent one out to right field back in the first inning. Weatherly looking for a little more solid contact right now. And when you talk about, we talked about the wind and, get that ball up and it might run as he takes high for ball one. Weatherly's a type of kid that has that kind of pop that can, create some excitement out there on the baseball field. I believe he already had 1 home run earlier this year, so I'm sure it's probably in the back of his mind a little bit like, hey, if I get a little kickstart into something, I can probably send it as he takes strike one, bringing the count to 1-1.
I was going to make a comment, a little bit shifting subjects here. I was going to make a comment about, I feel like I've seen less of the gear, like the old gloves they put on. It's got to come along.
That ball's going to drop to right. And we talk about, great base runner here by Campbell. Second baseman bobbles the relay, and that allows Campbell wisely to scamper home for the 10th run for the Longhorns.
I was going to say, there's
that brings up our first baseman, number 24, Cash Stevens.
Looks like another meeting at the mound, another
pitching change, left fielder coming in. And with that pitching change, we're going to take a little break from the action. Pitching change for the Hornets brings in left fielder
Now pitching
Seaton.
is number 8.
Tanner's
Seaton.
Day. Give up 2 walks, 4 hits, and 4 runs. Seaton inherits his 2 runners here on first and second with 1 out as first baseman Cash Stevens steps to the plate. Takes low and away for ball 1. Really couldn't ask for a better start for the Longhorns.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, difficult weather. I mean, I think both teams, I can't. Stolen base attempt right there, fouled off by Stevens, bringing the count to 1-1. But I know, and I mean, I played in Minnesota. To some, that's Canada. It's not, folks. But nonetheless,
Well,
we played many a cold weather game. I mean, I remember in college having to shovel
I was going to say,
snow
did
off
you
the
have to
field.
shovel
Yes,
the snow?
and
Yeah.
we had, and it was not much fun. So we played with hard ground ball right down the third baseline. That'll get past the third baseman. That'll score 1.
Score 2.
Red light thrown up right there by Hallman at third base, but that double drives in 1.
Scores a run.
Was it just
Now
1?
brings up our
Yep.
I thought we were
second
going to 2
baseman,
for a second. I
number
thought whether we
4,
went.
Tristan.
I'm kind of I'm tucked in the corner here.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard
your
for me to.
view. Again, we
hard
talked
for
about
me
our
to see.
space up here,
I thought whether he was going, and he did not.
but we had we played a game with foul territory. There's still snow on there, so.
Wow.
But played many a game. It's nice those games you get into where you can run rule a team and get off that stinking field before your whole body turns purple and blue.
Well,
Bates
you know,
takes strike 1.
I remember a few years ago we had an early season Minnesota game on in the coach's office one year, and there was snow all along the outfield wall.
Yep.
They just kind of shoveled it and pushed it to the back wall. Just totally foreign to us here. If there's snow in the field, we are probably not playing.
Oh, it's uncanny. I know over as he takes strike 2 on the outside corner over our break. Bates with the ground ball to the shortstop. Forces a quick throw. Nice little play right there. Bates, not lacking speed himself, forces a quick play right there by the shortstop. Makes it, and that's 6-3.
Scores a run.
Nonetheless,
Brings
he
up
gets
the
an
top of the
RBI
lineup.
on that, driving in
Our
an
right fielder,
11th run of the
number
game.
10, Zane Howard.
12th run.
12th run. Jeez. Putting it on him.
12-0.
With that, rolls over back to the top of the lineup again. That's back-to-back innings where the Longhorns are able to hit through the lineup. That ball's in the dirt for ball 1. Stevens unable to advance. Wise base runner right there, not running into a tag.
Well, it's the 4th time this season the Vinita Hornets have allowed at least 12 runs in a single game.
And you know, it's tough all around. You got win like this. I mean, it just creates some problems that aren't normally there as he misses low for ball 2, bringing the count to 2-0. But great start for the Longhorns. But just getting off that, as I was saying earlier, getting off that field just before you freeze. I mean, it's a welcome sight. And I was never one that I didn't mind. As a hard line drive right back up the middle, bobbled by the center fielder. Hallman does throw on the red light right there, though, holding Cash Stevens at third. So runners at first and third right now with 2
Brings
outs.
up our center fielder, number 2.
I was hoping.
But I was never a sweatshirt under your. I see a lot of kids now that wear the sweatshirt, and the shiesty as the kids wear, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't wear that sweatshirt or anything. I'd maybe have long sleeves, but I was a bit of a crazy person. I didn't like sleeves. So
I
I would
understand.
I'd be plenty cold by the end of that game, but I wouldn't complain because it was my own fault for not being prepared. I just didn't like wearing sleeves.
You're like a skinny offensive lineman. You know,
Yes.
like they don't wear sleeves.
Oh, heck no.
Not real offensive
No,
linemen,
not
right?
not real ones.
You know, like
Swing
well, you
fouls
know,
that right side, bring the
just-
count to 1-1.
just randomly thinking of one like Dior Sedgey. He'd never wear sleeves playing football.
Oh no.
Just shout
But
out
we
Dior-
do see
Dior's
a lot
up
of the back plates now.
there.
We got the big motion and DM your mom. I forget a couple of the other ones, but we had some good ones out there. I think big motion is enshrined in Coach Ashley's desk right now. That's the
awesome.
retirement of high school football by one. Alejandro Gallegos.
Mhm.
Swing takes strike 3 on the outside corner looking. for the third out of
Now
the inning.
strikeouts the final out the inning. but not
Nonetheless, your
before
Longhorns are able to
six.
scratch across back-to-back 6 runs for my hockey fans out there. That's a Lemieux on the board. 12-0 as we venture bound to the third inning.
Leading off for Vinita.
Heading to the top of the third inning right here with the Longhorns leading 12-0. At the plate now, number 1, Smith. First pitch strike for Brewer. Line drive to center field for base hit.
Sorry, no one's on the camera.
Yeah, we lost that for a moment.
We lost the camera.
Our media is just kind of struggling today, folks. I apologize. We have 12 people, and sometimes too many is a thing as we again bump our equipment, forcing some further issues. But we'll pull double duty here, trying to make everything work. So,
sorry, I had to cut out for a second. That was so.
Runner on first here, no outs in the top of the third inning.
Man.
Hard fly ball to center field. It's going to be tracked down by Schwing for our first out of the inning.
Oh, man. Sometimes you just got to laugh so you don't cry, you know?
That brings up number 10, Floyd.
We genuinely have so many students up here. No one was on camera. Oh, gosh. Great day. Great day.
It is, you know. If it wasn't 12-0 in our favor right now, it would probably be a little different mood, but we're jolly, we're happy. You know, I think of jolly and happy, I can't help but think of my middle son, Keegan, a kid who's always real jolly and happy. So, a little shout out right there.
Great YouTube channel, too. Great YouTube channel.
If you're all wanting to, Keegan Quam on YouTube. I mean, man, I think he's up to over 2 million subscribers right now. He's the next Mr. Beast. Foul ball on the left side for strike 1. I think that's everybody's goal right now, is to be the next big streamer.
Yeah, I'd say
like,
so. Well,
the money made by these people, it just blows my mind.
It's unbelievable. Well, Mr. B, yeah, he's.
I mean, he's kind of the creme de la creme. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the pinnacle of that profession, I guess you could say. 2-1 count right here with runner on first and Goss at the plate. We'll check that Floyd. Goss with the fly out his last at bat. Fouls that one on the right side. 2-2 count. I mean, when there's a little break in us, I could just hear that wind just whipping through.
He's just whistling through this press box. I mean, it is unreal.
Great curveball right there, and with the sword, he takes a hack at it and strike 3. Always reminds me of bench warmers.
Yeah. Yes.
Some people might get that out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say winds, I mean, ranging between 20 and 33 miles an hour right now. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
That ball skips away. That wild pitch skips away from catcher Atchison right there, allowing the runner to take second. So runner on second now with 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. Very good day on the bump so far for Brewer. Avi has that curveball working as he throws another one right there, and he fouls that one off the right side, bringing the count to 1-1.
Hey, Coach for Vinita, great arm.
I always
Still
was
got it?
one. I loved it. Like, if the ball was hit, it didn't matter how hard it was. I was going to try to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, some of those, obviously you don't have a glove on, and you're probably going to bruise your hand, leave some seams. But I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to try. Great block right there by Atchison, holding the runner at second. Count now 2-1.
Had to test it. You still got a little juice, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not diving or anything like that. It would have been kind of funny if I would have, but
That would have been.
I was all about it. I don't care. I'm gonna try to play it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna stay in front of it. I'm gonna olay that thing. Hard line drive to center. Swing settles up under that for the third out of the inning. Another blanked inning for the Hornets as Brewer still dealing on the mound after that 1, 2, 3, 4 inning. 4 batters come up. Longhorns still leading after 2.5, 12-0.
Our shortstop, number 11, Charlie Castleman.
Leading off for the Longhorns here in the bottom of the third, shortstop Charlie Castleman. Castleman with a walk in the first and a single back in the second. Longhorns looking to add another crooked number to the board. Just trying to stay warm out there. You got Vinita Hornets taking a little jog out to the right field wall and back to the dugout. I know when I was coaching junior high, if you ever saw that, Coach Springer was our cue, and if he wasn't happy with what was going on in the dugout, you see kids running, you know it's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's not to stay warm.
Definitely not to stay warm. It's hey, learn from this, bud. Act right in the dugout. As they say, act like you've been there before. So swings through strike right there. I believe the count's 2-1. Excellent person on the scoreboard today. Everything you see on as Castleman hits a line drive single to the right field. Brindley Pratt does a great job with our scoreboard, keeping up with it. Oh, I checked that. Tessa Groff on the scoreboard, much better than what Brindley Pratt
Center
ever
to right
provided.
field brings up our
But doing a
catcher,
great job.
Number 6, Finley Atchison.
Finley Atchison stepping to the plate with the runner on
Number
first.
18, Will Harris.
Will Harris stepping to the plate, pinch hitting right now for Atchison. Runner on first right now with No outs here.
And how's it going in baseball? How often, I mean, do you think we're going to see some, I mean, again, it's 12-0. If we get through 4 and get back to the bottom and still up 12, that'll be a run rule.
Right.
I mean, as a coach, how do you figure out exactly what you want to do? Another bobbled ball in the infield.
That error by the shortstop allows Harris to reach. I think you're about to see quite a few pinch hitters.
That's what I was going to ask. Is like, how many pinch hitters are we going to see? And then even in the field, how does that work as far as?
I would guess that you'll see pinch hitters, but Holman will re-enter because he wants to make sure, you want your group out there still on defense just to
Finish
to keep that run rule intact.
Makes sense.
But pinch hitting right now, number 14, Hayden Tucson. Runners on first and second with no outs.
No rule on how many pinch hitters you can use?
Nope. But once you pinch hit and you re-enter, I mean, that person's effectively their day is over. But nonetheless, you like seeing guys, some other players get opportunities out here. Hard ground ball to the shortstop. Skips under the shortstop's glove. Will be station to station at this point in the game, as we have bases loaded right now with no outs. Stepping to the plate now, another pinch hitter, Reed McConnell.
Reed McConnell.
I don't know Reed. What grade's Reed in?
Reed's a sophomore. He came over from Catoosa. I've had the luxury of knowing Reed for many years now. Played baseball with my son, and then a lot of these sophomores played together growing up as he takes high for ball one. Very strong kid. He had a couple innings on the mound last night.
Okay.
Kind of the struggle for a few of the pitchers just throwing strikes, and he struggled a little bit, but nonetheless a guy that I think had the potential is borderline limitless, because you'll hear it said you can never have too many lefties.
Yeah.
And he's a lefty at the plate, lefty on the mound, but strong kid, a lot of potential. I think when his time comes, I think he'll be all right as he fouls that one straight back, bringing the count to 2-1. But again, we got bases loaded here, no outs in the bottom of the third inning. Takes low for ball 3. Check that. 3-1-2. I guess I didn't catch that one. I believe the count is full now to McConnell. But yeah, I came over from Catoosa just this last year.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get a look at him up here from the press box.
Watches strike 3 on looks like the outside corner. Stepping to the plate now, Bo Brewer.
That brings up number 5, Bo Brewer.
Again, bases loaded, still loaded with 1 out. Takes inside for ball 1. I do like seeing this, though. Let some of your younger guys, they're here, they're working just like everybody else. Give them an opportunity to get a couple swings in there as he misses outside for ball 2.
Yeah, I agree. It's good to see the younger ones get in, see the ones that don't bat. I mean, obviously we've seen Brewer on the mound, but first time seeing him at the plate today. So, yeah, it's good to see them.
Another sophomore that,
Yes.
loads of potential.
Big sophomore class on the baseball team.
Yes, yes.
Good problem
Maybe
to
the
have.
one sophomore that growing up didn't play with that group. He was one, I believe, moved over maybe last year. So wasn't familiar with his game or anything as he falls out on the left side. Bring the count to 3-1. Fouls that one straight back, bringing the count full here.
Ooh, he barely got a piece of that one.
Just missed that one. Catcher wearing. That's why they would get behind that plate, protect themselves from situations like that.
Yeah, I see. I can't see the
Staying
catcher
alive.
where I'm standing either. I feel like I'm at those ballparks where they actually sell the seats and it's right behind a pillar.
I've seen the guy that goes to all of them and buys that ticket.
Buys that ticket behind the pillars. That's what I feel like in here sometimes. I'm just like, well, I mean,
you have a
I could
direct
see,
line down to second. And
well,
you see
I gotta lean.
first.
No, I gotta lean to see second. See,
Oh, you gotta bump into me and knock me into Pando.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gotta bump into you to see that. I got a great view of right field, first base. You know, if I lean a little left, I can see home plate.
Right.
So yeah, it's tight quarters up here for sure. Now, not as tight as football.
That's an interesting little
that
press
set
box
up.
we have.
Yeah, that doesn't. You don't get any tighter quarters than our football press box.
Pitch hitting right now, little brother for big brother, Conway Stevens. Again,
Conway.
Brewer works the walk right there. Base is still loaded with 1 out. Hard ball right down the third baseline. That's going to be a fair ball. We're going to be station to station again at this point in the game. Nice single right there by Conway.
Conway, another guy I've heard with a lot of talent, a lot of potential coming up. You know, not playing a ton right now, but you're going to hear a lot of him in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, he was one. I mean, again, I speak a lot on these freshmen as coaching them last year. Was probably our ace on the pitching staff, and when he's dealing, he was about as good as it gets. As Bates takes ball 1 high.
High pitch, Bates swings at it, misses.
Bates thus far today had an fly out to right, and then he had a productive out with an RBI ground out back in the second.
And where's that one?
Always smarts a little bit in cold weather like this, but
I mean, it's cold. The wind is making it cold enough to where just about everybody who makes contact with a pitch, they're kind of wringing out their hands. You can see it hurts.
That brings up a pinch hitter, number 8, Ryder Atkinson.
Ryder
next
Atkinson.
next pitch hitter. Again, another sophomore, Ryder Atkinson, another one I had the pleasure of watching play grow up, coaching him. Great kid. One of the more coachable ones you're ever going to see on a football field, on a diamond, or on a wrestling mat. Is the score now 15-0 in favor of your Longhorns?
You just got to coach him in everything, haven't you?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Great kid. Swings through strike 1 right there.
Strike 2.
Strike 2. Okay, I missed the first pitch.
Yeah, you're keeping notes. You're the one taking stats.
I'm trying to keep track of all these extra pitch hitters, but nonetheless, I loved it when you have the ability to see 16 different kids playing a game. I mean, it fouls that one off, keeping his at bat alive. And now, you had said you had played baseball, you've watched baseball.
Yep.
The evolution of the baseball bat and the design, the color, I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me as he takes ball low and away for ball 1.
Yeah, well, there's so many different bats. I don't even remember that being. I mean, again, I was so young. It wasn't even a consideration for T-ball. I didn't.
No.
Whatever. But
You said your basic colors: black, gray, blue.
Oh yeah.
As he wears the pitch himself, back-to-back hit batsman. That'll bring in another run.
Got hit by pitch, brings in a run.
I think it's J.T. Barnett stepping up to the plate here.
Number 22.
Yep.
J.T. Barnett.
J.T. going with the not often seen hoodie underneath the jersey.
Not my favorite look, but to each his own. Okay, so Barnett stepping up to. Picking up back in the action with the Longhorns leading 16-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Pinch hitting right now, sophomore JT Barnett.
Barnett, you said, had a great
job on
game,
the mound
yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
Came in late and shut the door. He takes strike one right there. This will be the third inning of the game, and Longhorns have found a way to bat through the lineup every inning.
And you don't see that very often.
I probably could count on one hand the times I've either been a part of, watched games like this. So, it's not something you see every day. So, great start to the day for the Longhorns. JT swings through strike one right there, bring the count to 1-2. Barnett swings through strike three right there for the second out of the inning. Stepping the plate right now, number pinch hitting is.
That brings up pinch hitter number 13,
Trenton Prettyman. I believe another, if I could be wrong, but I believe he's a sophomore as well.
Really?
So, just.
See, I don't know a lot of the sophomore. I teach juniors, and so if they don't play volleyball, which obviously none of these guys play volleyball,
right.
I don't know a lot of the younger ones.
And another one I believe was a move-in, one of a couple sophomores that I haven't seen before, other than on the diamond for whether it be in varsity action or JV action, as he takes strike two right there, bringing the count to 0-2. Fouls that one back onto the softball field, keeping his at bat alive. Takes high right there for ball one, bring the count to 1-2.
And this pitcher's got an interesting pitching motion.
Straight over the top.
Yeah, right over the top. Man, my rotator cuff hurts just watching.
Yeah, not a common, but I will say it is kind of funky though.
It's got to be hard
Pops
to
that
time
one.
it.
Wind is pushing that one foul. Keeping his at bat alive again. Still count 1-2. Haven't seen anyone working in the bullpen. Curious who Hallman throws out there. That ball skips past him. Runners will hold.
He may just
Good
leave
kick
Brewer.
back. Yeah, we'll see what he comes up with. This is on a cold day.
Yeah.
Pitchers, you like to keep them warm. Well, cold day, long inning, the way the game is, maybe you give someone an opportunity.
Yeah, maybe, but
so we'll see what he decides to do moving into
Yeah.
the top of the fourth inning.
Nobody's been throwing bullpen, though. I've been keeping an eye. That is one place I can see.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got the best view for that.
Yeah.
So we got a full count right now. Bases loaded. That will get the runners in motion with the pitch. Takes outside for ball four. I'll bring in the 17th run of the game.
Walk brings in a run. That brings up number 18, Will Harris.
Will Harris back up to bat.
Harris with the grounder towards short, misplayed by the shortstop, but nonetheless found himself on base, scoring a run earlier in this inning. Hard swing right, swing strike through strike one right there. Get bases loaded. 2 outs here, 0-1 count to Will Harris. Another one with just oozing with potential moving forward in his career. Excellent catcher, good bat at the plate. Just it's got a really good one in front of him. And you've seen that as a volleyball coach. You have some great players, but it just so happens the person in front of them is pretty darn great too.
Yeah.
So takes ball two right there as it skips back to the wall.
That's part of sports, part of life. But there's great lessons to be learned in that. And competition just breeds better players in sports. And that's the thing you like. I mean, they're going to push each other every single day to be better, and they're both going to be better for it.
Right. So, but one, just a freshman. I mean, very excited to see him moving forward as he takes strike 2 right there. Takes high. Full count again here. Runners will be in motion with the pitch.
I feel like every single at bat, it feels like it's either a first 1 or 2 pitches and they're hitting it in this inning, or it gets to a full count.
Right.
I mean, this has been a long inning.
Not going to attempt at that ball in the dirt. That'll bring in another run to that walk by Harris.
That walk brings up.
This is the most runs Vinita has given up this season.
Well, we got ourselves in rare air right there. So as Hayden Tucson steps back to the plate. Takes high, ball 1. And, you look at it, it's cold. If you're Vinita, you're in the field, you got that wind. I mean, it's really hard to stay up in the moment.
Yes.
It's kind of demoralizing a little bit as he takes strike 1 right there, bring the count to 1-1. You're just like, hey, let's get this last out. Let's get back to the dugout.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can't blame him for feeling that way. Man, that's...
Tucson takes inside for ball 2, bring the count to 2-1. I'm running out of space on my scorecard here.
I know. I was looking at it. Pretty wild.
Long, hard drive by Tucson. That's going to get over the left fielder's head. 1 hop off the wall. That double will score 2. Great piece of hitting by Tucson right there. Long, hard double right off the wall. 2 more runs will scamper across as Harris will throttle down and stop at third. That base right hit right there.
Oh, now
Another pinch hitter coming in.
Kale Quam, baby. Your son.
Wearing a sweatshirt. Can't say I'm
wearing the hoodie.
So he takes strike 1 right there on the outside corner.
That's the first thing I noticed, Jeff, is that he's wearing the hoodie that you just said is not your favorite look.
No, it's not. But he's got Minnesota blood, but it's pretty thin. Fouls that one straight back for strike 2, bring the count to 0-2. I just look at it, though, it's kind of funny. We keep talking about all the pinch hitters we've had this inning, and it's all freshmen and sophomores.
I know.
Primarily sophomore, but I mean, it's all freshmen and sophomores.
All freshmen and sophomores.
As he wears that one.
Boy.
Bases loaded again as Bo Brewer steps back to the plate.
Number 5, Bo Brewer.
I will say this. So the equipment you buy now is just ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
Well, he took one off his elbow, and he's like, it hits that funny one. It just shoots down. Your hand goes numb. He's like, can I get an elbow pad? And I was like, you can't jump out of, if you jump out of the way. And he's like, I won't. And so I bought it for him, and it's one of those nice ones. It's like a gel. It turns solid over the elbow, and went on to take 8 hit batsmen throughout that season. I was like, all right, it was a worthwhile purchase.
Yeah, and they took that one confidently, just wore it.
Yeah.
And that's great. I was going to comment earlier about, this year I've seen less of the slide thing on the hands.
You'll see some of them have it kind of in their back pocket.
Jace Kent has one that he put on every time he got on base today, I noticed. But Jace is definitely a gear guy.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's got it all. He's got over the shin, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. Some guys are, though. They're gear guys.
Yeah, and I will say this. It's a new age thing, but it serves a purpose.
It does.
Like I look at, for instance, Bo Brewer at the plate right now. Bo's a lefty hitter, but he's a righty pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
So players like that, I want them to have that elbow pad because that's your throwing arm. We're not messing with that, and he has one as he fouls that one off the right side. I'm all for stuff like that. I think that's absolutely necessary in my opinion. 2-2 count right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Fouls that one off, keeping his at bat alive.
Just nicked it that time. Still nobody in the bullpen. For the long.
They must have their, whether it's Bo coming back out or just,
They've got a plan, obviously.
the possibilities are endless when you got a score like this. I mean, you can give someone an opportunity that hadn't had it before. As Brewer will fly that one into center field. 3-yard chase, and that ball will drop. We talked about the Bermuda Triangle earlier, and that one fell right in it over the just past second base into the grass, and short second and center fielder had a Spider-Man moment, all pointing at each other. You.
Good reference to the meme. I appreciate that.
Base is still loaded.
Conway
Stevens had a great hit right down the third baseline earlier in the inning. Not too often I say that. Catches the outside corner for strike one. Swings through strike two, bring the count to 0-2.
Say this, I've never seen Coach Hallman more relaxed.
Oh, it's
absolutely
true.
Your guys have played well, done what they needed to do. You got this kind of a lead. I mean,
he's about got everybody in the game, and
Yep.
not too many games that happens. He
Definitely
misses
not.
in the dirt for ball one. Just throw a big shout out to the Longhorn Diamond Club, providing food for all the coaches. I mean, I'm looking over my shoulder, and a lot of great food. Had it last night. We'll have it again tomorrow. So they do a great job putting a lot of extra hours in. So greatly appreciate that. And I know all the coaches and appreciate that as well. Catches the bottom, I would argue, a little bit below the strike zone, but for the third out of the inning. Longhorns scratch across 9 more, bringing their total to 21 as we head to the top of the fourth. It is Longhorns 21, Hornets 0. All right, a lot of changes out in the field. Go ahead and run through those real quick. Behind the plate, freshman catcher Will Harris at first base. Freshman Conway Stevens at second. Sophomore Cale Kwong at short. Freshman Emerson Wheatcraft at third. Freshman Hayden Tucson in left. Sophomore JT Barnett in center. Sophomore Ryder Atkinson, and in right, freshman Jacoby Cox.
Good to see.
Bo Brewer still on the mound.
Yeah, good to see some of the young ones staying in there. Came into pinch hit. Coach Hallman leaves them in to play the field.
And the way that Brewer's pitching, I mean, looking at his stat line, 3 innings pitched, 2 Ks, 2 walks, just 3 hits, no runs allowed. Great opportunity. I mean, not a lot of pitches thrown. And if he's if he's still warm as that ball, ground ball to the left side, played by Wheatcraft, long throw across the diamond. That one's going to get away. Going to be a play at second. Slaps the tag on, and he does get him in time. Great hustle and great throw by Conway Stevens. Qualm there at second to slap the tag on for the first out of the inning.
Great recovery there by Stevens. Making a great play, making a great throw to Qualm at second. I mean, I thought that was for sure getting to second base. I thought the runner was going to get there.
But that was a perfect throw, and I mean, it's pretty easy to slap the tag on when that ball's thrown right where you're going to tag him. So great throw right there by Stevens. Line drive base hit into left field right there. Barnett quickly fires that one back in. Runner on first base with one out here in the top of the fourth inning.
So just as a reminder, run rules up 10 after 4, correct?
Correct. So going to have to be a long inning to keep this game going. Misses low and in the dirt. Good block right there by Harris, holding the runner at first. 1-0 count.
Now, when you're talking about a catcher, Jeff, what are the qualities you're looking for in a good catcher?
Well, we were talking about this the other day. I mean, to me, aside from the pitcher that throws 99 or 95, whatever, the best way to play at the next level is to be a great defensive catcher. If you can hit as a catcher, that is just, like the cherry on top.
Right.
Because if you just go to the major leagues, the vast majority of the catchers are a 220, maybe 230 hitter. But defensively, it's a great pop time. It's getting that ball out of your glove and getting the throw off in a very low amount of time. And then obviously having superior arm strength is a big plus. But not allowing runners to take extra bases, and that's sacrificing your body, good positioning, everything, keeping that ball in front of you, the ball's in the dirt. Because if Brewer here has an 0-2 count, and he's got a catcher that he trusts will keep the ball in front of him, he can throw that breaking ball in the dirt, hoping the batter will swing, knowing my catcher's going to stop this. So even if it swings and it's in the dirt, my catcher's going to pick it up and he's going to throw him out at first.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So the defensive side of things, to me as a catcher, I look at first and foremost. The hitting, that's just a nice little bonus.
Nice bonus. The Cal Raleighs of the world.
Absolutely. I mean, those are few and far between. I liken that to the old Mike Piazza. I mean,
yeah. No, if I know a catcher's name, that means they're hitting the ball. Because again, I'm not a baseball guy. I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, hey, listen, you start having enough kids, you got to figure out what sports you can keep up with and what you can't.
That wild pitch right there advances the runners one base. I agree. And, I grew up with, having been the same age as a former Twin, Hall of Famer, Joe Mauer. I mean, phenomenal behind the plate, but on top of that, could absolutely swing a bat. I mean, he was an MVP. So plenty of gold gloves, but it was him at the plate, honestly, that was probably more impressive as a baseball player. And I had the pleasure of one game playing against him and then just watching him at the state tournament. And you definitely learn about the different levels of this.
Yeah, you see a future pro in any sport, and you're like, you see it pretty quick.
And it's one of those, when you talk about multi-sport athletes, usually the first, at a professional, at a high end, a lot of people will go to first as Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
Usually second, maybe like nowadays, we'll say a Deion Sanders. Now, back in the day, I always looked at the Dave Winfields of the world that was drafted in 3 different sports.
Right. Yeah,
that just doesn't happen. Well, Joe Mauer was the National Gatorade Player of the Year, had a scholarship, full ride to Florida State to play quarterback.
Really?
Decided, I'll go ahead and be the #1 overall pick and go play baseball. Another walk right here, loads the bases with 1 out. I mean, and on top of that, he was a double-double guy in basketball.
Sounds a lot like me and you, Jeff.
Absolutely,
Really,
had we decided to play all the sports, it's like the Kevin Walkers of the world.
That
nice play by
true.
Tucson. Fires across the diamond, just missed. Great play to step on third. Doesn't quite get the runner at first, but good job backing it up there by Jacoby Cox. Holds the runners at first and second. That fielder's choice will bring in 1 run.
That fielder's choice brings in 1 run. That brings up number 1, Smith.
So we have 2 outs here now in the top of the 4th inning. Score 21-1. But yeah, anytime I get to throw out Joe Mauer, I mean, as a fellow Minnesotan, I'm gonna.
You got to. I had no idea he was a multi-sport athlete.
Oh, he was unbelievable. He went to a private school up in the Twin Cities, Cretin-Durham Hall, and it always leads me to one of the favorite things my father ever said. So another very famous Hall of Fame baseball player by the name of Paul Molitor. He's in the 3,000 hit club, phenomenal athlete, everything. And my dad had the pleasure of playing him in high school because he went to a private school as well. And he always had the comment, it's like, Paul Molitor and I played at different schools together. And it's one of those, like, you say it and you kind of have to stop and think for a second, like, what does that mean? Well, it makes complete sense when you really think about it. It makes no sense. It makes so little sense that it makes complete sense.
I love that.
But Brewer up 0-2 in the count.
Played at different schools together.
Little oops-a-daisy swing, and Brewer will take that one himself. Good hustle down towards first. He does get there in time for the 3rd out of the inning. That'll end the ball game here as your Longhorns put it on the Vinita Hornets 21-1. Kind of a little game recap looking at it. Bo Brewer ends up pitching all 4, throws well, just gives up 1 run, few walks, couple strikeouts, a couple hits. But what I really enjoyed to see is, the youth movement that is on the horizon. We talked about like how, every year there's change. There's turnover. A lot of turnover from last year's team. You look at this year's team, there's not going to be a ton of turnover from this. I mean, you're losing some, but there's a lot returning. Well, after next year, it's going to be an all new, a big lineup change. So seeing a lot of those freshmen, those sophomores, and even not only that, but the success they had at the plate when given that opportunity. So pretty exciting news, and great way to start the day. Just want to remind everybody that tomorrow at 10 a.m., Longhorns will be taking on the Wagner Bulldogs. Hopefully they save some hits in them bats for tomorrow. But Swope, as always, an absolute pleasure being on the air with you. Love the conversations, love the interaction, and it's been an absolute blast. And I look forward to it probably at some point in soccer.
Oh, yeah, we'll make it happen.
You're going to have to lead that one because I'm like, hey, he kicked it. Oh, he stopped it.
I can talk a little bit of soccer. But, yeah, it's a fun day with you, man. Fun day, and always good day when it's a Longhorn victory.
Absolutely. Well, you all have a great day. And, again, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you.